I was going to go to the walk. Welcome to our review of elections in the United Kingdom for Parliament. We're going to be looking at three types of election procedures with Parliament today. The normal election, which you will see indicated in blue on this presentation. The election procedures after a vote of no confidence, which you will see represented in green, and the process for which a monarch can intervene, which you will see indicated in red. We will begin by looking at the normal election procedure, indicated in blue. It starts with voters going to their polling place and voting for a political party to be their representative in the House of Commons. Once the elections are over and a politician has been selected, those members all join the House of Commons, the lower house of the legislature. The members of the legislature, whether it be a single party majority, a single party minority, or through a coalition, form a leadership, the Prime Minister and his or her cabinet. Those individuals will form the government, known as the Prime Minister and the cabinet, and they will be the leaders of the executive branch in this system. Once the Prime Minister and cabinet have been selected, this is where the monarch begins to play a role. The monarch names them conventionally. This is similar to the inauguration process in the United States. The Prime Minister and the cabinet are officially recognized by the monarch as the government and leaders of the United Kingdom, the legislative and the executive branches. In addition, the monarch is also responsible for naming peers to the House of Commons, the House of Lords. We won't be going into them in too much depth today, but they are similar to an upper house of the legislature. However, they have very little power in any way to affect legislation. As long as the government, the Prime Minister and the cabinet, maintain confidence, they can continue to rule. However, if the population, their representatives, other members of Parliament begin to lose confidence in the abilities of the Prime Minister and the cabinet to rule effectively and constructively, a vote of confidence may be issued. There are various circumstances that can cause a vote of no confidence to come up, and we'll discuss those at a later point. If a vote of no confidence is successful, the first thing that occurs is that the policy that vote was attached to is generally going to be overturned. The Prime Minister and his or her cabinet members then resign from office. However, they will stay and continue to perform those roles until replacements can be selected. All of the other ministers in the House of Commons are then dissolved, which means they no longer have the responsibilities of voting on legislation and are sent away from the government buildings. New elections are then called for by the Prime Minister and cabinet, and the issue is sent back to the voters to elect new ministers, at which point the normal election process occurs and it ends with a new Prime Minister and cabinet being put into place. The final process depicted here is the intervention of a monarch. If the government has lost confidence, but the Parliament is not able or willing to vote in that manner, and the population is upset with the way that the government is being led, the monarch can step in on behalf of the people, the voters, as a check on the system. And the monarch can order the resignation of the Prime Minister and cabinet and the dissolution of the House of Commons, at which point the House of Commons is dissolved, the Prime Minister and his or her cabinet continue to rule, new elections are called for, votes are held, and the system repeats itself until a new Prime Minister and cabinet have been selected. Although the monarch has these powers, if the monarchy uses those powers and it's not an appropriate or necessary cause, the monarch could have those powers taken away by a vote in the House of Commons, so that power is not used very frequently.